Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. Sarava and I share to you. I'm doing this very spontaneous live because I'm about to be interrupted. Yes, darling, put that one in the bin. It's school holidays and I'm currently in Brisbane with my baby sister, waiting for the very exciting arrival of my other little sister, all the way from Brazil. She hasn't been in Australia for close to about 32 years, and her arrival is incredibly important and very special to me and to the family. And so I'm here at my sister's. My father is here as well. I've got all my babies. It's school holidays. We've made signs. And I'm far away from my altar, and I'm far away from my hi Solaria, hi Flor de Oro, hi Stacey Lynn, hi Solaria, hi Queen of Hearts, hi Alicia, I should say, Vanessa, Beth, Starlight, Spell Singer, Champagne, Hippie Spirit. How are you? How are you? That's yours, darling. You can have it. And so, yes, I can. Yeah. What flavor is it? Yummy flavor. It's fruity flavor. Okay, so hello to everyone who's joining me. As I was saying, I've got my two little ones here, and ABC for Kids is on. I'm just having a bit of a break. Since we've come down, we all got a bit of a cold, and I've still got a bit of a cough. And so I've been feeling a bit flat lately. And because I'm so far away from home and far away from all of my things, as you're accustomed to seeing, I felt like just coming on here and slinging a few cards to feel normal again, because that's what I do, folks. In case nobody knew this, that's what I do for a living. I read tarot professionally, and I have been playing with tarot. How old am I? I have been playing with tarot easy peasy for 35 years. Easy peasy. My grandmother played with tarot, not that that was her preferred method of reading cards. My mother plays with tarot, Marseille style. She's a terrible card reader, mind you. And I play with tarot. So it's a thing. I really love it. And I feel most myself when I'm shuffling my cards and I'm about to do a reading. And so I wanted to come on here and just do some readings, and I read a lot professionally for people. People pay me good money to read, and I am so grateful for that. But on occasion, I get on with Spread the Switches, and we just read, we just sling some cards, and it just makes me feel really good, because it's just that little bit of giving, because not everyone can afford to have a sort of very high-priced tarot reading with a very well-known or respected or informed tarot reader. And so being able to access a good reader for next to nothing it's sweet, isn't it? It's a bit sweet. Hey, Pandora, how you going? Hello to everyone who's joined. So I'm going to keep it simple because I don't know how much time I've got. I'm babysitting my baby nephew who is 1, and he too has been a little unwell, and I've got my 2 little ones, like I said. And so if you would like to ask me a question, and I'm going to pull some cards, I'm just here with my Rider-Waite Centennial Edition. And if you would like to ask me a question for the cards, or would like to ask the cards a question more to the point, then yes, darling. Then please type your question out. I'm going to attempt to collate them all. So if you type them out in capital letters so that I can determine what is conversation from question, I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. Hang on. Hold on, I'm just going to put my watch on. That's better. It's 11:50. So I'm going to go hard for, it's 11:51, so I'm going to go hard for 10 minutes at least. And what should I know about opening my own business before I start? Beautiful. Oh, I'm upside down. I don't think I've got reversals in this one. I do not. Just have to be very careful. And so I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can in a short period of time. If you enjoy your reading, if you like your cards, if you liked my style, consider leaving a little tip, PayPal, or whichever other way you like to do it. It's not essential, it's not necessary, like I said, but it just sort of is a nice little thank you for my time and for me using my sister's internet. Okay, so I'm going to start with Queen of Hearts. You don't even look near 35 years old. I'm 40, Queen of Hearts. I turned 40 in May this year. What should I know about opening my business? Solaria, this one's for you. Okay, you got the 5 of Cups, you got 2 of Pentacles, and you got the 9. Yes, the 9 of Pentacles. And so what I see here is that you may be feeling a little bit overly emotional about the process itself. There may be you might be emotionally tied to the process of starting a new business, and you might even have had bad results in the past. And there is just a sense of sadness there in the past. It's sitting right there in the past, and it may be slightly inhibiting you from putting your full self forward. And so it may be skewing your reality, potentially, is what I mean to say there. So it may be skewing your reality. Your reality, however, is the 2 of Pentacles. And this is, contracts, is the balancing of contracts, the maturity to handle multiple contracts, the maturity to be able to balance a workflow. This is something that you're going to have to get comfortable refining. So the better you are at multitasking, at being able to fragment your concentration in a way that keeps you incredibly productive at the same time, and not sort of slipping into, crux of what is the word that I'm looking for? The word has just totally escaped me. Lack of motivation, things like that. Procrastination is the word that I was looking for, and not slipping into the crux of procrastination. If you are able to put the woes of the past behind you and to approach your work from a very constructive adult standpoint, you are in for a good 9 of Pentacles. And this is a very fruitful card. This is the card of those who have worked really hard to achieve what they have achieved. It's not a card of entitlement. It's a card of somebody who has worked hard enough to be able to reap those rewards and be able to be truly satisfied with what they have received. It's about your just desserts and your comeuppances and all of that kind of good stuff. So really do keep focusing on that multitasking aspect. Your key card here was the 2 of Pentacles, and this is really, it's a very important card in terms of being an adult and really managing multiple things at the same time, because that's what being the boss of a business, that's what being a boss is all about. It's not just one job. You may fall in love with one job. That's great, but there's going to be thousands of other little tiny jobs that you may like or you may not like that will contribute to the greater flow of your business, in which case you have to get very, very good at that, and that will help you. So there you are, Solaria. I hope that you found that helpful. We have Zorro Girl. I have a question. I just healed a big past life trauma around teachers. How successful was my healing work? Okay, let's have a look. There's birds. There's the sound of birds in the background. This is terrible lighting that I'm sitting under, mind you. Nene. There. Okay, healing a past life trauma. How successful was your healing work? Okay, very, very interesting. Okay, you got the Five of Pentacles, and I do believe that this would represent your past life trauma or the nature of that trauma. I don't know the exact events. I'm not divining for your exact events, nor am I spirit working for those exact events. And then you have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Both of the appearance of the page suggest to me incredible success here. Success in both healing the physical body and your material relationship with the world, which could be part of this past life trauma here. Illness, sickness, a lack of resources in a very real sense. And then you have the Page of Swords here. Now, both pages, and this is what I love about pages, they represent the beginnings of things at a very higher level, or a much higher level, not a very high level, but a much higher level. When we graduate from say, elementary school to high school, or say when we graduate from high school to college or university, as we call it here in Australia, you graduate with this certain amount of knowledge. You're set up to do higher learning, to learn more, to learn quicker, to learn in a more established and structured setting, right? And that's how I like to look at the pages. They're young, they're virile in their way, they're enthusiastic, and they're all about the beginnings at a higher level. So really kicking things off in a very robust fashion with a sense of assuredness that is very admirable. So I'd say the appearance of both of these beautiful pages suggests really, really interesting things for you. Both sort of anthropomorphized cards, i.e. the court cards, pulling you out of this Five of Pentacles position. They can also represent people, places, things, events, and situations in a grander sense. But here I really do see the elevation of new beginnings, the establishment of who you are, the access of that authenticity through healing, through the integration of shadows, and then the beginnings of something new. So I do think that this is going to put you in a very studious and exploratory and even adventurous perspective. I mean, Page of Pentacles, very constructive, very practical, hands-on kinds of forward aspects, and the Page of Swords, that's clarity, that's inspiration, that's, really inventing the new you. I think that's these are really beautiful cards to cement that good work has been done in that regard. So, thank you to Zara Girl. Stacey Lynn, what will my upcoming full moon bring to the what will the upcoming full moon bring to the collective? That's an interesting one. I almost want to shift decks. Não faz isso. Não faz isso, né? Yeah, don't do that. Put it in the bin, please. You're dripping. You're dripping. Dripping. It's being naughty. Okay. I've got a really big call to shift decks soon, and I'm going to race into my bedroom, and I'm going to pick a new deck after this one. Okay. So Stacey Lynn, you're my last one with my rider. I'm not feeling the rider today. I'm feeling the call of another deck. Wonder what deck that will be. I travelled with a few. I often travel with a few. This is just my handbag deck. It was there. The computer was here, and I'm like, let's do this. All right. Upcoming full moon. Let's have a look. Mom. Okay, so thank you. So I have, I've got some good things here. I have the Queen of Cups, really heightened intuition, so very, very much water energy. Let's have a look at something. Just looking at my moon app. Full moon in Capricorn. Okay. So Capricorn is cardinal earth, as we know. And you have the High Priestess, which is, incredible amounts of inner knowing. It's seership. And you have the Queen of Cups. This suggests very heightened intuition, divination, foresight, working on your clairs. I really do think that this is going to be something of interest. And we have the sun, and the sun represents that expansive, healing, salubrious type of energy. So for me, this represents a focus on the celebration of your intuitive gifts. Maybe I'll hold that there. The celebration of your intuitive gifts. Now, more than that, it's going to be finding your way through that Capricorn energy of cardinal earth, finding that way to the very vein of what makes you uniquely beautiful in the sense of your whole self. And what we find down there is often linked to water. It's linked to blood and bone and getting down to the very marrow of things so that you can truly access the incredible amount of lunar power and the response that your body naturally has to that lunar energy. I think despite the earthly reign of the Capricorn full moon, you are going to experience heightened awareness in terms of the element of water. So you may want to look at your natal chart. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to give you, fact here, but you may want to look at your natal chart and find out, what kind of, water signs you have sitting in what kind of places, and look very closely at that for yourself. But I really do think that things are going to come about. So I would keep my eye out on, lucid dreaming in particular. Lucid dreaming, seership, the act of seership, the act of foresight, your clairs, like really, really owning that power as it courses through you. And in many cases, if you haven't already made peace with that power, it's activating that power as completely as you can so that you can start to integrate new skills, new gifts, new amazing wonders to really fulfill who you are as an individual. Intuitive development is something that I'm very, very passionate about. Intuitive development and accessing your personal gifts is something that is imperative. It will really make you shine. So when I do this work with individuals, you can actively see a transformation. You can feel a level of confidence rising up. You can also feel this sense of assuredness, this sense of comfortability because they have access to this skill, the skill that is both natural and supernatural. And it's such a beautiful thing. So really do invest the time in this full moon, perhaps even do workings to get in charge, to get in a place of commanding, so that you can, really tweak the mojo of the full moon to really help you work on those things that are absolutely vital to your spiritual evolution, your progress, your spiritual path. That was Stacey Lynn. All right, I'm just going to go. I'm going to run into my little bedroom. I'm going to grab a glass of water or a water bottle, more to the point, and I'm just going to do a deck change. Okay, I've come back with Charlie's asleep, darling. Okay, this is Light Visions Tarot by James Eads. If you see me shushing my daughter, it's not because I'm concerned about her making sounds on this live stream. I don't mind that at all. It's because I've got a sick, sleeping little bubba there that I'm babysitting. Okay, as I was saying, can we just marvel at this for a second? This is Light Visions Tarot. If you liked Prisma Visions, then this is of the same maker, James Eads. It's beautiful. I love the color, like this mulberry and gold. And the cards themselves are not colored. They're mulberry and gold with like beautiful edging, mulberry and gold. That's the backing of it. Just absolutely beautiful. And I looked at it on the shelf and I thought, you're coming with me. Hopefully I don't know if I've actually... Darling, Okay. But you know, baby Charlie's sleeping, so you've got to be careful with your voice, okay, darling? She's the baby, so she's never actually had to mind her tone. Okay, so Lynette Soriano, since my mum's passing, I would like to know about me, really. Okay, Lynette, I would love to be able to read for you. And climb up on there, darling. All right. It's so fun reading when I don't have all my things around me. It really keeps me focused on the deck. Okay. Okay. Lynn, you've got the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, and you also have the Two of Pentacles. This is really beautiful. So you've got the Page of Swords. This is again bringing in that clarity, that perspective. And what I feel is that it's important for you not to forget. And I think that might be something that you're, I feel that in my heart. I really feel like you're in a position now where you want to move forward with clarity and with purpose, and you're concerned that if you move forward too fast, or you give yourself to another project or a new learning, or just really move forward in the full sense of the word, that you may actively forget. And right now, the Two of Pentacles represents that balancing act of wanting to move forward, but wanting not to forget, and wanting to move forward, but perhaps feeling just a slight amount of guilt and not wanting to forget. And so the Queen of Swords here represents the lesson, not the person, not the place, not the thing. It represents the lesson. And the lessons is that in a mothering sense, as the Queen can be mother as well, in a mothering sense, when we're looking at information, when we're looking at memories, when we're looking at information, when we're looking at memories, when we're looking at responsibility, when we're looking at strategy, when we're looking at all of those things that air can truly resonate with, that can be seen as attributes of air, then you know that you have so many skills, there's so many pathways. It's also a reminder for you to never, ever forget that everything that you do is an extension of her legacy. And as such, even if for a moment she slips out of your mind, just for a second, and you just enjoy that beautiful moment all to yourself, she will always be there with you, in you, around you, so that knowledge in itself can really, really bring a sense of peace and really bring in that open understanding and that nurturing, that as you move on, you have the right to move on without any guilt. You have the right to move on without any fears. You have the right to move on in a way that really honors the legacy of who your mother was. And you don't have to be frantically balancing, what was, who she was, trying to honor who she was, making sure that you don't forget, and doing all of those very, very important things, the balancing of those contracts. And the due diligence that is necessary to balance those contracts. But understanding that there's lessons there to be had, to use her lessons, the ones that she taught you, to put them to good use, because that's an archetypal aspect of the Queen of Swords, the great teacher. At least I love to see her as the great teacher. And to be able to put those lessons that your mother has gifted to you to good use, but to also remember that she will always be with you in the air around you, that sword element, everywhere you look. The breath that you breathe in, the thoughts that flitter through your mind. She's an integral and vital part of who you are from an energetic perspective, a DNA perspective, and the emotional perspective as well. So, did I go too far then? That's the most thing I would like to know about me, really. I want to pull one more card for you, Lynn. This is the moon in reverse, funnily enough, the moon in reverse. I would really, really look at your collective unconscious, Lynn. Now would be the time to sort of look at some of the shadow. Now would also be the time to understand that a good amount of personal internal healing will need to take place, and some recalibration on a deeply spiritual level will take place now. It's a metamorphosis, and that recalibration, when we lose something, when we change something, when we bring something new in, it all requires this sense of recalibration, of balancing, so that we can find that happy medium, that temperance, if you will. And so really look at some of that, the undercurrent of what's going on, and try to work constructively with that undercurrent so that you can bring a sense of peace to the physical, emotional, and spiritual body. These are things for you to focus on. Hope you found that helpful, Lynn. Okay. Hippie spirit, what is in your future? I feel like that's a bit of an oracle question, isn't it? Sadly, I don't have an oracle deck in my hand, so I'm just going to pull this card here. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, I find that the winds of change are in your future. The winds of change. So things are headed for quite a big shift. So if you've been in a negative phase, that could be a positive thing. If you've been having a run of good luck, however, you may want to be careful. But the winds of change, things are about to shift, they're about to change. And my experience, my personal experience with the Wheel of Fortune too, is that it's never quite what it seems. And it's rarely ever small. It may look small, but even the most innocent of events have far-reaching consequences, and it can take you a couple of weeks to realize, wow, because I said yes in that moment, very innocent yes in that moment, it set off this chain reaction of events that changed everything. And I've had positive experiences with that realization, but I've also had really negative experiences with them. So, and as we know, the Wheel of Fortune is neutral. So it's not about good luck, it's not about bad luck. It's about the changing of one's situation, the changing of the winds, the changing of the tides. So brace yourself for a solid change. Pandora, career advice. Okay. All right, pretty straightforward. You've got the Four of Pentacles, bit of a rut. You've also got the Seven of Chalices, okay? A little bit of illusion there. What I would like to say here with the Four of Pentacles is the Four of Pentacles is a very stable card. It's a platform type of card, as I like to say it, or see it and say so. And what I love about the Four is that you've achieved something. With the Four, there's often the diploma, there's often the house, there's often the family, there's often the job. There's often the achievement of something there that you're standing on top of. The danger there is that it's also the card of the miser. And when you stretch that across the area of resources, which is, well, pentacles, there is this rigidity of thought. There is this, it can sometimes even be a fear of not enough, like a monetary shadow or a career shadow of some description, in the sense of you don't want to move from where you are, even though you might not be having the absolute best time at your work. You don't want to move in case you lose this job and you end up in a worse situation or with less money, or the uncertainty of it brings up all this wound and all this shadow. Nevertheless, you find yourself sort of retracting to this space of, I'm just going to hold on here. This is good. I'll just stick it out for a little bit longer. The moment that you start having career worries, the moment that you start thinking, oh, I'd like something else, or this is not feeling like the right fit for me, you don't need to ponder any longer. If that feeling came about very naturally, then it is time. The Seven of Chalices, it suggests a little sense of delusion there, the sense of like a romantic thought process even. You may have envisioned things going differently, and what you have is not so much what you envision, or perhaps it's not the outcome, it's not the dream, it's not what you wanted. And sometimes when we embark on careers, we end up really seeing things for what they are. Like a career can be perceived as something really exotic or glamorous, and we may see ourselves in the driver's seat of that career doing incredible things. But yet when we do that course of study and we, establish what we need in order to be in the driver's seat for that career, the reality of that situation isn't everything that we wanted it to be. And so it's really important not to box yourself in. And it's really important to understand that if things aren't going right for you now, then it's important to change things, a different perspective. The Queen of Swords, great teacher. She's asking you to change your perspective, to change it up a little bit. That just because you thought that it was going to go one way for you, it doesn't mean that it's going to go that one way, nor is it going to be good for you if it does go that one way. And because the Queen of Swords is that teacher archetype, it's really talking about upskilling, of refining, of upskilling, of niching, so that you too can be in that position of mentor. You can be in that position of teacher. You may not have ever seen yourself in those particular positions, and that in itself could be a little bit daunting. But the fact of the matter is, when we embark on a career, it's all about evolution. In the same way as life is all about evolution, what we choose to do with our life is all a process of evolution. And learning new skills and consistently working on that aspect and broadening the perspective is going to help you to find your way in different positions far more easily, without this kind of fear in the shadow, this rigidity that can happen when we have established something and we might be in a space of fear or operating from a place of lack, assuming that if we move from here, we're not going to have it, we're going to lose it, something's going to happen. And the Queen of Swords, if I had to sum up her message for you, it's open your mind to the perspective. And when I see her in these types of situations, in these types of career readings, what I like to think of is that your path, your position, your purpose hasn't yet been made available to you yet. You haven't seen yourself in that position. It's something that you've never seen yourself doing. And that is where I'm going to leave you. So really open your mind to an alternative perspective there. And I'd highly recommend a meditation with the Queen of Swords, but a really good Queen of Swords too. Find a queen in your collection of tarot that you really like the look of, and work with her in that capacity. I've lost my space. I've lost it. Shit. Sorry, guys. I'm going up. I'm not moving fast at all. Wow. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, I found my way back. Alicia Beaver, thank you for the time you have. Where should I go to work after graduation? Oh, I like this question. I like it. I'm going to try and stick with this for about an hour, folks. We're at the 33-minute mark. I feel like any longer and I'd be a negligent parent. If you're enjoying this live card slinging session, then do give this video a thumbs up. I would really consider that a nice thank you. All right. So Alicia, where should I go work after graduation? Okay. Okay. Judgment, King of Swords, Five of Chalice. Okay. So the Five of Chalice, I'm feeling like it's here because, well, you're graduating. There can be sometimes a little sorrow, sometimes a little stagnation, sometimes a little emotional release that is necessary. And something that I would really, really encourage you to do is to take a beat after you graduate, if you at all have that as an option, to take that beat just so that you can do something for yourself, something fun, something that breaks you out of that, that academic mindset. So take that beat and really nurture the emotional body, because you've probably been placing your emotions in a little corner, in a little box for 4 years, however long your degree was. And it's really nice to be able to exercise that. So that's a little emotional release. That's how I feel, like a little emotional. Have a little cry. Go to do a trip. Maybe do some yoga. Just something really nourishing that really connects you well with the element of water. Then we have judgment. Judgment is such a weighty card. It's a bit of a son of a bitch. I love it for that reason alone. Judgment is all like, it's the grand epiphany. And what graduation tends to bring is that epiphany. It can be that moment of epiphany. The up, I've had this epiphany. Sometimes it can be the down here, because it's such an exhilarating time. You go up and then you have to come down for a little bit. But then the King of Swords comes in, and the King of Swords suggests, well, it could suggest the career path. So when I look at the King of Swords, I see a great father, a great teacher, and I see him in the area of swords, so the area of analytics, the area of medicine, the area of innovation, technology, the area of literature. And so it's a really, really strong card, and it suggests that what should you do after graduation is to find this person, find this mentor, find someone who can take what you have learned in university and bring it to the next level. And university sets you up for a great position, but there's still training, there's still mentorship, there's still guidance that you will need to be able to turn what you have learned, academically speaking, and to put it into usable methodologies, usable approaches, so that you can actually make a career out of what you're doing in the full sense of the word. And so it's your time to go out in the world and really accrue some life experience under the guise of a really, really strong teacher, a man and or woman, because the court is not gender specific. So someone who holds powerful position. I just feel them as like really powerful, full individuals who are just exceptional at what they do, who are experts in their field. I would say that the King of Swords would be an expert in his field. A very kind, very well-spoken, articulate type of individual. Someone who clearly sees, who has great perspective and great vision, and I'm not sure what you graduated in, but I really do feel like you are in desperate need of this visionary of the King of Swords. So I see attributes of air in your graduation future. Again, I'm not sure what you graduated in, but attributes of air. Look into attributes of air. See, what does air rule? Oh, it's so tasty. It's so tasty. I wish you all the best too. Oh, one more card. The Page of Chalice. Oh, you're going to get a little intuitive hit about it as well. I really do feel like you're going to get that intuitive hit when you come up towards your King of Swords, your mentor, your great teacher. You're going to get that intuitive hit, so you're going to be able to feel when that moment happens, and you're going to be able to feel when you found that right opportunity, the right person, the right stuff. All right, what have we got here? What have we got? I'm going to have to move a bit faster, guys. Hey, hi, Earthly Alchemy. How you going? What should I be focusing on? Sarana, what should you be focusing on? That's really okay. Eight of Chalices, that's what you should be focusing on. The Eight of Chalices suggests the spiritual odyssey. You should be focusing on gifting yourself a richly immersive spiritual odyssey. That's what you should be focusing on. Question, is my spirit animal a wolf? And would I find the path of light or dark? Is your spirit animal a wolf? You're going to have to journey for that one, Shadow. Have you taken an underworld journey? And would I find the path of light or dark? You're going to find the path of dark, so I would say left-hand path. But as for your spirit animal, you're going to have to do that ye old shaman's way. Lower, middle, upper world, go to the lower world, do your journey from the world tree, attempt to connect with the energies of your spirit animal, your totem animal. Do so through the rhythmic beat of a shamanic drum. No need for bells and whistles. You can also do this through trance work. Don't let me tell you how to do it. Just do it. What message do my gods and guides have for me to help me on my path? Crimson Cutie 666. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. 5 of Chalices. Okay, 5 of Chalices. You have to deal with some sorrow. You're going to have to deal with some of that emotional sorrow, some of that old programming. That's how I feel like it would manifest for you, old programming, because you have 2 really fruitful cards. You have the Knight of Pentacles here, telling you to get a giddy up on it, and you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the new beginning, the quintessence of the element of Earth and all of its resources, like the raw, unbridled potential of Earth. And so being that they're both Earth, it really is shift your focus towards Earth, towards disciplines that are in alignment with the Earth, the magic of the Earth, the benefit of the Earth, the conscious awareness of the Earth. Like to really anchor and to ground yourself really well. The 5 of Chalices, well, it's talking about the necessity to heal from this. You've got a really sad water card up against 2 really great, healthy earth cards, and so you can see that a little healing is going to take effect here. The Ace of Pentacles suggests that beginning of something new. You have to be bold enough to begin something new, but the Knight is really the driving force. The Knights represent movement. Of all the Knights, of course, the Knight of Earth, I was going to say air, the Knight of Earth moves the slowest. He's the most pragmatic, but he will get the job done. His is a process that will assure you success, but he's a bit slow moving. So try not to get too caught up in the speed of things. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's important that whatever you start now, Rue, it's all right. Whatever you start now is going to take a little while to take effect, but it will reach a pinnacle. And so if you're attempting to cultivate a new relationship, say with a deity, or to attempt to learn a new discipline within your spiritual practice, it suggests that it's going to be in the arena of Earth, and that you're going to get quite good at it. You're going to be able to put it to practical use. So this could be, learning a new skill and actually applying that skill for monetary value. Deal with this though. This little 5 of Chalices. There's a lot of 5 of Chalice energy in this session, guys. A lot of 5 of Chalices. Okay. Did my spell for my husband's successful album work? Anything else I need to do? Spell for your husband. Beth Flynn, I'm looking at you here. Okay, so you did a spell for the success of your husband's album. I'm assuming that that's what that means. Is there anything else you need to work on? Are you feeling dubious about the work that you've done? I'm going to give you a tip, Beth. So is the tarot, apparently. Acting in accordance means when you do your spell, when you release your will out into the world, that you let that go, because second-guessing it nitpicks at a spell and it disempowers it. The Page of Chalices. That's what fell on the ground for you. So listen to your intuition. How are you feeling? My guess is if you're listening to your intuition, you're asking this question, it's because you feel like you haven't done enough, in which case I would go back and do more. Because if you're feeling a little bit uncertain about it, if you're feeling like, I did this work and I'm not sure, is it going to work? If you're not 100% confident in the fact that you've done that work and it is going to work, then you need to do more. 5 of Wands. I would highly recommend a fire spell, something, I'm feeling it. Crown of Success. You're going to need to do some Crown of Success, and you're going to have to get involved in some healthy competition. Of all the 5s in the tarot, the 5 of Wands is my favorite because it suggests healthy competition. It suggests championing. It suggests healthy rivalry, okay? So put yourself in the running for something. Work with the element of fire for this. Do some Crown of Success. And I'd even throw in a bit of a road, a bit of a blockbuster, a bit of a road opener or a blockbuster. That's my suggestion for you. Brenda, what should my main focus be at this time? 10 of Chalices, enjoying the moment. I think that you might be forgetting the simplest of things, and that is pure mindfulness, being grateful for where you are, what you have, looking around you and feeling that sense of achievement, that sense of connectiveness to the life that you have, to the people that you have, showing gratitude, experiencing that abundance, experiencing that joy, and just being very much in the moment rather than trying to preempt what is next to come. It's sort of robbing you of the magic of the situation. So 10 of Pentacles that. Should I stick where I am at? Should I stick where I am? Oh, Jennifer in Wonderland. Should I stick where I am or should I look for new employment? You need to look for new employment. I've got 10 of Pentacles there. 2 of Chalices. The Hierophant. Okay, the Hierophant's the great teacher, the sage. The 10 of Pentacles suggests happy home, happy family. And the 2 of Chalices represents that healthy connection, that kindred connection. It's that love, that passion. This suggests finding something that you love. The Hierophant is, it's coming in there with a little bit of tradition for you, and it's reminding you of tradition, and it's reminding you of the tradition of career. And career is not meant to be cumbersome; it's meant to be fulfilling. And that's something that we, in this modern age, don't make me rant, we have forgotten of that. Many of us are doing jobs that we just don't love, we don't believe in. And for you, you're traditional. You want to provide. You want to be there. You want to make the beautiful. Home, and you want to be in that paradigm of, I have a beautiful home, I'm healthy, I have a beautiful home, I'm providing for my family, everything is going well. And that's definitely there. And you need to come at this from a passion point of view, but you're going to have to be traditional about your approach. And the Hierophant's traditionalism can sometimes set people off guard. But the fact of the matter is, when the Hierophant appears in a career path, it represents being a bit of a teacher, but in a very different way to that of the Queen of Swords. So with the Queen of Swords, we're looking at a diplomatic teacher. The Hierophant is talking about to be that middle person to something much bigger than yourself. If that's going to be something that really brings a sense of fulfillment to you, is to elevate your position, to shift your position so that you can be in that particular position, plugged into, something that is much bigger than you, and being the spokesperson for something that is much bigger than you. It's very air. It's ruled by Taurus or Earth. So we know that this is practical. We know that it can be career. Likewise, spirituality. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles. This is a great card. So when, without allowing my concentration, please, without allowing my concentration to fragment, I would say, don't stick it where you are. Find something bigger than what you've got. That's going to bring you. It's going to bring you into a very new existence, a very new position in your career and in your life. And it will have positive side effects, a happy home and a fulfillment. Soul path business. That's soul path business. Okay, Chris Ann, what am I not doing that I should be doing to get into full time? Okay, what aren't you doing that you should be doing right now that'll get you into doing what you were trained full time to do? I'm assuming that's. Okay, Chris Ann. You got the devil. The devil's on your back. The 9 of Swords, very anxious. You've got the devil. Devil's on your back. You've got some pressures. You've got the 9 of Swords. And then you have the Star, which is a really great sort of it's interesting. It's almost like you're not listening to your guides. You're very anxious about this. I can see this. And the devil is in the details, right? That's what they say. The devil's on your back. The devil's in the details. Devil of a good time. There's all these little like adages and sayings with the devil in it. I love them all. I'm a big fan of the devil. Reckless abandonment. Oh, I love it. And there's a time and a place for the devil. But the 9 of Swords is really keeping you hindered here to that devil. It's a messy situation. But then you have the Star, and I'm just gonna pull one more card just to open that up again. Okay. Here's your magic 2, Strength, which is almost always victory, and the Star. So it's hope and it's strength. So what should you do? What am I not doing that I should be doing to get into full time of what I was trained for? I would say that shadow and anxiety is a big thing for you. Lingering stuff in the past, very much in the past too, I would say. Sort of chips away at your self-worth. Sorry to be so frank, but it can chip away at your self-worth. There can be guilt and shame there in the past that also brings that anxiety. So you're not actually able to breathe in and expand in the way that you need to. And that's the Star. That's the Star. The Star's like, leave the old behind. Set your sights on something further away, much brighter. Breathe out and feel as though you can achieve it. That's really important. That's really important for you to be able to do. That Star, that guidance. It's to really listen to your guides as well. I love the Star. Are you an Aquarius by any chance? And then we have Strength here, and that's resilience of spirit. Now, you've got these major arcana cards with the 9 of Swords, and I really do feel, I'm looking at this for you. Chris Ann, I'm looking at this for you, and I think that your cards have very little to do with your question and more to do with something that you truly need to focus on right now. So I would like for you to take down this information. The Devil, the 9 of Swords, you have the Star, and you have Strength. If I had an oracle deck here, I'd use it right now. Oh, see, none of this is in relation to your question. You've got the 5 of Chalice. Emotional hurt in the past. You're going to have to look at that first. You're going to have to liberate some of that. I feel like that what you might be wanting to bring in has no space to come in because you're not prepared to let go of what is there holding up a great deal of space. And I'm sorry I couldn't be more forthcoming with detailed information for you there, Chris Ann, but I really do feel like you need to work on making space in a manner that is going to honour any wound that you haven't been able to shift yet. Oops. Okay. There you are. That was... Shh, please, darling. Maybe Charlie's sleeping, my love. Okay, we're coming up to 54. I'm going to move through this. Okay. Will my business go according to plan these next few months? Hannah Nicole. I'm going to go super fast, guys. One card. Ace of Pentacles. Will my business go according to plan these next few months? Yes, it will, but I really do feel like you need to write out a very fresh, new, exciting, and innovative business plan to capitalize on this fucking amazing Ace of Pentacles that you just got. There you go. That was for you, Nicole Hannah. Marek Wild. Should I quit my job and move to a new city to start a new business? Oh, I love questions like that. The Hanged Man. No. No, I wouldn't say that's not the move for you right now. The Hermit, to think on that one a little bit more. And I want to get a third one out here for you, the Seven of Pentacles. You've just got to plant a few seeds first before you can make that epic move. The Hermit's asking you to withdraw a little bit to get that perspective. The Seven of Pentacles is asking you to start to, in that Hermitesque phase, is to plant those seeds. Plant those seeds. Set yourself up for that big move. Don't make it sudden. It's not gonna go well for you. You're feeling a bit stuck. Everything's in suspension. Hence the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is also about looking at things from a different perspective. It's also about taking a beat and waiting for that wisdom to come to you. All advice which will serve you well in the long run. Okay. When life pushes us in a corner, we have a tendency to overreact. I certainly do, at least. And sometimes that overreaction can set us back a few steps. That's not what you want. So yeah, plant those seeds. Really go internal. Fun fact, the Hermit card is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is incredibly detail-oriented. And so I would even say to you too, you may want to start a business plan. In that Hermitesque phase, go and find someone who's really good at what they do, someone that's very detail-oriented. Get them to do a business map for you. Start planting those little seeds, putting things into motion to set yourself up, and give yourself a time frame. Be very, very calculated in how you do this. Don't make it brash. Champagne Sea. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is my favorite card of love. It's about action. So you've said, what does Spirit have for me in regards to how to connect more with the messages that are trying to come through? You need to be more active. I think you need to be more active. I'm actually seeing you in a position where rather than sit there in contemplative meditation or path working or journey work, which, works brilliantly, but I think yours could be more tantric. I think yours could be more shamanic in its movement, like trancey. I think your way to spirit and your way of personal evolutionary expression with spirit is a very active one. So a lot of movement, a lot of fire, a lot of getting in touch with your tribal roots. Yes, Champagne. Keep your questions in capitals so that I can discern them from conversation. Okay, Sue Demeters. So you've got the Tower, and I don't think that you're going to be moving to a different state. I really do think that retirement's not going to go the way that you need it to, but I really do think that once you take that step, the whole world is going to open up to you. There's going to be a great deal of support, a great deal of opportunity there, but things are really going to crash before you get the opportunity to perhaps be in control of that. So it's a shock. Get ready for a shock. but a good one, because you have a lot of, you've got the world card, and the world card is all things achieved. Just in context with the Tower, it's things go to shit, but the best possible results happen, and you're in a better situation than you thought you would ever be in, even though things went to shit. So, sorry, I don't have better news for you. The Tower, yes, you can, darling. Yes, excuse me, I just have to open a fruity thing for my daughter. There you go. Don't flick it around, please. Okay. Rightio. Oh, sorry, I keep removing my question. I'm trying to reword it. Where do I need to improve within my spiritual path? Starlight Spell Singer. 2 of Wands, individuation. I would say that your issue at this moment in time is learning to step away from derivative information rather than become a replica of the practices that you're reading about, that you're listening to, that you're seeing about. So when you're out in the world cultivating information for your spiritual practice, then it's very easy to get into a bit of a copycat mindset, not intentionally, mind you, and then your practice ends up being very derivative. And you can see that exactly what you're doing belongs to XYZ. It could be, something that you read in Weave the Liminal. It could be Christopher Penzak's something or other. It could be the perspective of a Silver Raven Wolf, or a throwback to Scott Cunningham. What you need to do, the Two of Wands, I was going to say 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords. The 2 of Wands, it's very, very clear. Individuate. Make it your own. You need to step away from the books now and put things into practice. Wands is an active element. It's masculine, it's active, it's dynamic, it's creative. And so you need to get out of the reading aspect, or the hypothesizing, or the envisioning, or the meditative, out of the mind and into pure action, pure passionate action. So the way forward for you to truly individuate is through art. It's through fire. Well, I shouldn't say art. I should say creativity and fire. But make it your own. Stand apart and make it your own. So individuate. Okay. A9 Nomis 99. 2 of Wands. What do you need to know about your love life? I shuffled that too. What should I know about my love life? You need to know that you need to individuate. You need to actually know who you are before you start getting into relationships. And I think that you're keen on getting into a relationship before you actively know who you are. Okay, Moon Chaser. I've been a solitary for so long, but yet I'd like to have like-minded friends. Will I ever find any in my area? Seven of Wands, no, you won't, but you're going to have to go out there and find it. So it's not that they're going to come to you. You're actively going to need to chase this down. And so your way is a very different way. You're going to need to seek out a different perspective. And remember, community doesn't need to be in person. Community can be online. Community can be via letters. I run a coven online, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. And I'm not the only one to do that. So if you can't find like-minded people near you, then look outside your box. Okay. How does Marlon feel about me? This seems interesting. Oh my God, 2 of Wands. Don't worry about it. You need to know who you are before you start asking what Marlon wants of you. It's not about what he wants. It's what you want. What do you want? How do you feel about Marlon? I think you're giving your power away. That's a little 2 of Wands. I want to make sure that my family doesn't interject. I've gone up beyond the... Just a second. Bad. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Solaria. You shine as past life readings. Thanks, Pandora. Thank you, MBK. What do I need to focus on in order to get out of on my own within the next year? I like this question, Ember. Okay, you had some really interesting cards here. You've got the 10 of Chalices, really happy card. You've got the Ace of Chalices, really happy card. And you've got the World. And I really think that you might need to set your sights on the world at large. Emotional fulfillment is going to be absolutely vital to who you are. I really like the Ace of Chalices for a new baby or a new beginning, new business, something like that. But I really think that you need to focus on emotional fulfillment, emotional satisfaction, and also gratitude for what it is that you've got. And making sure that your goal is something to do with the 10 of Chalices or the very auspicious new beginnings that is the Ace of Chalices. Set your sights on those goals that are larger than life. Don't limit yourself. And I want to say that, getting out there and being a little bit autonomous on the internet and maybe, putting your stake in something that's going to yield a little bit of money for you online via the World Wide Web, hence the World card, is going to prove to be beneficial to you. So I think that you need to get a little bit entrepreneurial, if you know what I mean. Take matters into your own hands. Make yourself happy. And always, always show gratitude for where you have come from and what you have at this very moment in time to ensure that you're always in that place of gratefulness rather than a place of lack and or wanting. What can I do craft-wise with a body that is wheelchair walking around? Joyce Jordan. Six of Chalice. Don't dwell on the memory. Have you always been wheelchair bound? I'd like to know. Six of Wands. Hello, mate. Hold on, I've got to let the puppy out. Come here. Come on, cat. Okay, so we've got 2 sixes. 6 is the number of Venus. It's the number of love. Yeah, but you're not having it, darling. Okay? Knight of Wands. This is very interesting. Refresh yourself on your question. Craft-wise. Okay, first and foremost, intuitive journeys. Second, get creative about the adventures that you do. So for me, if you're hindered in any way from practicing your craft in a manner that is really active and outgoing, that doesn't limit where your mind can go. It doesn't limit where your emotions can go. And always remember that your emotions and your active creative component, they are active parts of you. You can send those out before you while you're sitting back in your chair. And I can do this, and anyone can do this. You can sit down in a chair and allow that, and allow the journey to take place, and allow yourself to find that witch's temple, and allow yourself to create that witch's temple for you and for your practice, so that when you're feeling limited in the physical, you can go to that very, very important sacred place within you and create what it is that you need to. Magic can be as psychological as it is physical. Never forget that. And no one is banned or barred or in any way hindered from practicing the craft. There is always, always a way. The Knight of Wands is telling you to get super, super active in a very creative sense. And that's the beautiful thing, is that you can be active in the creative. The way that you approach things, the way that you imagine things, the way that you design things, the way that you speak things. And never, don't focus so much on what you don't have, and focus on what you can do and what you do have. You probably have an incredible imagination, a really bright mind. Use those as tools in your craft. My cough is coming back. That was for you, Joyce Jordan. Yeah. You can. Yeah.
Can you please?
Yes, I can. 8 of Chalices for Windora. 8 of Chalices. Windora, spiritual odyssey. You're going to need to do a spiritual odyssey before you know the answer to that question.
I know how to.
8 of Cups is...
I put it on this dress.
That's great.
And
But my family has just arrived. Hold on, darling. Thank you. My family has just arrived, and I must call it quits because they're about to erupt into the house. There's lots and lots of them, and I can't read for any longer. But I just wanted to say 8 of Chalices, the spiritual odyssey, and that was for Windora. Get lucky. No, my future career. Yeah, it's going to be something really out of the blue. It's going to be something that you haven't thought of yet. So take that spiritual odyssey. It's probably going to have something to do with your spirituality. So keep that in mind. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer. I've been here for an hour and 11 minutes. I tried to get through as many as I possibly could. Tried to be as thoughtful as I could. But now I have to go. Thank you to everyone who came here. I'm going to try and do this again before I leave. So if I didn't get to your question now, write them down on a piece of paper and I'll be back to do another one of these. Much love and many blessings. See ya.